At the Goodwood Festival of Speed, Lamborghini has unveiled their LMDh entry that will contest races in the WEC and IMSA starting in 2024. Now, this project stems back to 2022 when Lamborghini announced that they would be creating a car to the new LMDh set of regulations to begin competing in the WEC and IMSA. The car is the only brand right now to be utilizing the Ligier chassis and is being developed with a brand new twin-turbo V8 engine. Now, since the initial announcement, there's been a few pieces of information that have come out, including the team that is going to be running the Lamborghini factory outfit. Iron Lynx was announced to run the Lamborghini effort in both the WEC and IMSA when the car is ready. In addition to this, drivers have also previously been announced, with Lamborghini stalwarts Andrea Caldarelli and Mirko Bortolotti being the first drivers announced. Since then, former F1 drivers Romain Grosjean and Danny Kvyat have also been added to the LMDh roster. Now, specific driver pairings have yet to be confirmed here, but when you have a stable of drivers of the caliber that I've just mentioned, I think they're going to be competitive regardless of what they choose. Now, there are still 2 driver slots to be confirmed, with Lamborghini head of motorsports boss Giorgio Senna announcing that they would be confirmed at the end of the 2023 season. Also, an interesting tidbit here is that those 2 remaining drivers are coming from outside of Lamborghini's current pool of drivers, so that really opens up your imagination as to who they might be. Now, with the driver stable mostly sorted, the next major milestone here is to actually unveil the car. And the SC63 was recently unveiled at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. It was unveiled sporting an iconic green paint scheme that the program has been sporting with its GTD Pro program in IMSA this year. Looking at the car, immediately you can see the styling cues that have been taken from road cars as well, most notably the headlight design that closely resembles those on the new Lamborghini Cyan. Now, the car has certainly made a strong statement, but for me, the beautiful car was not the biggest piece of news that I was taking out of this unveiling. I personally was most intrigued by hearing about the upcoming testing schedule for the car. The car will not be hitting the track at all until August, which does raise some concerns if there's going to be enough time ahead of next season to complete sufficient testing. Now, despite the car not having hit the track yet, it is expected that the Lamborghini SC63 is going to be taking part in the WEC opener in Qatar. Now, that race runs right at the beginning of March. However, it's the IMSA debut that has a bit more of a question mark around it, as IMSA's debut happens a little over a month earlier at the Rolex 24. Now, regarding the planned debut of the car, there have been some mixed messages about this in the past. It was noted right off the bat, basically in September of 2022, that it was unlikely that the car would be ready in time to compete in the 2024 Rolex. However, just a couple of months later, they confirmed that they were planning on running a full Michelin Endurance Cup schedule in 2024. Really, this back and forth just left a big old question mark over the program. Was it going to be ready in time for IMSA? Were they just planning to be ready to go for the WEC opener? But now it seems like we have some more clarity. And unfortunately, the thought that the Lamborghini SC63 might be ready for the Rolex 24 is pretty much all but a dead dream now. Lamborghini Motorsports boss Giorgio Senna said, "We will do what's needed in terms of the homologation process and to also collect as much data as possible, but then today to say that we'd be ready to do Daytona is too early. At this moment, it's not planned to race in the Rolex 24. It's not planned." Well, that's about as black and white as it comes, I suppose. So it looks like we're probably not going to have the Lamborghini SC63 at the Rolex 24 next year, and it looks likely that we're going to have to wait until the second round of the season at Sebring before we can see the car in race conditions in IMSA at least. Now, one piece of positive news is it's said that the engine has been dyno testing for at least a couple of months now. However, the testing program does very much appear to still be in the very early stages of development. And while this is still a positive sign that they're planning to hit the track in August, it definitely has been delayed, as when they initially announced the program, they hoped to be hitting the track at the end of Q1, beginning of Q2 this year. Now, whether this is just due to unexpected delays or perhaps they completely changed the schedule that they were planning to develop the car on. Regardless though, we won't have to wait too much longer to see this beautiful car on track. Speaking of beautiful cars though, Ford has been doing plenty of testing with their new GT3, and you can check out everything that you need to know about the unveiling of that car right here. Big thank you to all the Patreon supporters. If you too want to support the show, get a little peek into some of the behind the scenes of the channel, then you can head to patreon.com/offintheesses. Once again though, thanks for tuning in. I hope everyone has a great race weekend and doesn't go off in the S's.